What God has graced me to create. Um, kind of just pause. I'm gonna pause my music here. I love turning on my music. But anywho, I am on today, y'all, because we are creating another one of our trees. I'm so excited. I love um, when I come on and create something that's beautiful, timeless. It's lasts for a long time, and you can use it in a lot of areas in your decor. Okay, so again, we're gonna be. Yesterday, I talked about um, coming back on this morning at 7 o'clock. I want to apologize because at 7 o'clock I was kind of busy, but y'all, I'm on now 30 minutes later. Forgive me again. Again, my name is Janice. I'm the owner of Gracious Designs by Janice. If you come on, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it. So I've been creating these mini trees now for a long time. I would say since 2023 I started. And y'all, it's 2026. And so I'm still creating these trees because they are a hit at your pop-up shops. They are a hit for your low price points. And they will last the customer for a long time. You can use them for whatever you need to use them. Put them on your desk, put them on your countertops at your job, put them on your table as a centerpiece. You can just put them on a side table, if you're decorating. The possibilities are endless. I do sell them. I have some posted on my Etsy shop. I will link my Etsy um, shop link here for you to be able to go on and check it out. We also gift the Boys and Girls Club. Sometimes, if you come on my live, sometimes on Saturdays at 10 o'clock on Facebook, we do that. We have trivia questions where we gift them. But it's so many different things that you can do with these trees. So I wanted to come on today again and demonstrate to you how I create them. And so here we go. So I start off, of course, with a Dollar Tree um, mini tree. And there are so many different ones. We have, of course, starting off the year, they have Valentine's mini trees. They're red, and one of them is red. I think one of them is fuchsia. But the red one have like all these little hearts on it. So whenever I use that one, I just pull it off if I'm not doing the Valentine's one. They also have Easter. So it's an aqua blue, a coral peach color, and then a purple. Okay, I haven't seen a yellow or any colors like that, but those are the colors for Easter. And then for I haven't seen 4th of July or anything, but I use my Valentine. I use all different color trees because when you finish with this tree, you're not going to see the color of the base. You're only going to see what we're going to put on it, okay? And then you have the Halloween trees that they are orange and black, and then they have a solid black. I'm going to be using a solid black from Halloween holiday this time. And then for Christmas, that's the least likely one that I will use because, and I'll show you as I open this and show and demonstrate the white and green trees. The mini trees for Christmas do not have as many limbs. The other ones have like 45. Christmas probably have about 30. And so you're not going to get as many limbs as you would on these. So I highly recommend, if you're going to do this, use the other holiday trees. Now, the first thing I do, I start out when I'm demonstrating to you guys. I open my tree because I like to get a little prep time. Now, if you remember this little red dot, hey, sister, I see you. This little red dot is an indication when they went up on their prices on the tree. So um, I normally would pay $1.25 for these trees. I think this one was $1.50 or $1.75. But anywho, this is when they went up on them, and still a good price, right? And so the tree comes out like this. Of course, it's got all of these limbs, and it's got one little piece hanging up here. Okay. Then you have the 3. This is my Lazy Susan, y'all, that I love to use when I'm creating my trees or when I'm doing centerpieces. But all you're going to do is you have the flat part here, and then you have like a curvy part. You're going to take this and just push it down on the tree. And I think what I'm going to start doing, and I got to really check it out, but it'll be really good if I get you guys all of the things that you need to do this with. Cut up your mesh, do everything for you, and ship it to you. That would be fun, huh? Okay, after I put all of my little bottoms on here, I will take the glue gun and I reinforce it only because I don't want this to come off. Remember, when you're doing something for your customers, you want to always make sure you have everything perfected, and there you have it. Now, while this dries, I'm going to put this to the side, and I'm going to demonstrate to you the colors that we're going to be using today. Now, I am going to go with the patriotic theme again today, but y'all, this is my inspiration. So I'm using this burlap um, patriotic wired ribbon. I'm going to incorporate this in my tree today, okay? Now, this ribbon has a light blue, dark blue, red, and white, and it's got the tan for the burlap. So every one of these colors that's in this ribbon, I'm going to be pulling out with my mesh, and I'll show you that in a minute. So I hadn't cut any light blue, so I'm going to cut the light blue and the burlap for you today so you can see just how I start out cutting these. Now, y'all, this particular mesh came from, it looks like it came from Hobby Lobby. So I mostly get my mesh from either Hobby Lobby. I used to get it from Joann's when I first started out, but of course Joann's is no longer there. I love Michael's mesh because Michael's mesh is much bigger. I'm gonna show y'all the difference one day and how big Michael's is compared to the other ones. And then sometimes I get it from Dollar Tree, and I mentioned yesterday, they have a really, really, really good brand. It's called Floral Garden. That's the mesh you want to get. If you get the other mesh, it's not gonna, it's just, it frays way too much. And I know most mesh frays. However, if you get a cheaper one, it's gonna fray more. Okay, just keep that in mind. The other thing, so I'm gonna, usually some of these come with a little tape on it. So I'm gonna take this tape off right here. And y'all, I use my ruler here on my table to measure everything, okay? And so you're gonna treat this mesh just like you would if you was using a 10.5-inch mesh. You cut it the same way. Now, most people cut their mesh 20 inches or 22 inches. For my trees, I always cut it at 20 inches. If I'm using different colors, I don't cut one color and then go cut the other. I lay all of them on top of each other. And since I'm only doing two because I've cut all of the other ones, I'm going to lay both of them down at the same time. Go to my 1-inch mark, or my beginning of my ruler. And I'm going to measure 20 inches for both of these at the same time and give it a cut. See how I did that? I'm going to do that one. I've already cut a lot of the burlap, so I'm going to put the burlap to the side because I don't think I'm going to need any more of these. I'm just going to cut the light blue because I don't have any light blue. And again, I'm just pulling out all of the colors that are in the ribbon that I'm using, and I will be incorporating that in my tree today, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I hope you're having a good day, sister, so far. I'm only going to put probably about maybe 5 of the blues in there, just for a little, I mean the light blue, just to throw it in there and add a little detail color, if you will. All right, now I'm going to also demonstrate to you how I start my mesh. So I lay something heavy on that side. I get my little clip over here. The other thing you will need is pipe cleaners. So I take the 12-inch pipe cleaner, I cut it in 4 pieces, roughly 3 inches each, and this is what you have. You don't want, if you cut it any smaller than that, you just get ready for your finger to be peeling or something because it's going to be hurting you. So don't do that. So now you're going to roll it over on itself 2 or 3 times, and you take your clamp, put it on that side, take your heavy piece off, go on this side, roll it over on itself 2 or 3 times, and then you're going to squinch it in the middle. So you should know how to do this by now because you done watched me so much. Now you go, as you hold it in the middle, and you're going to take your pipe cleaner that you cut, lay the pipe cleaner down in the middle, kind of squinch it in, pull this piece up, and then you're gonna turn it around and twist. Now, if I was doing all of these, I most likely would have on gloves, but since I'm only doing a few to demonstrate to you guys, I don't have on gloves. And then you're gonna end up with something like this, like a little butterfly, just like the 10.5 inch mesh, okay? Uh, the other way that I do these, y'all, I don't use the clamp or something heavy on the end. I simply just take it, roll it over 2 or 3 times, and I squinch it in the middle. Now, this is the way I do it when I'm just, and I take my other hand and I roll it back this way, and I end up with the same little butterfly. Put this pipe cleaner in the middle, twist, and there you have it. I have the same little butterfly. So I'm gonna keep doing this. Roll it over 2 or 3 times. And if you have any questions, I usually demonstrate everything on all of my lives to show you how I'm doing everything that I'm doing. And so you can always go back and watch the replay. Again, like and share my live, subscribe to my channel. That would be great. I see a lot of people actually viewing it, but they're not subscribing. So if you will, just take a little time and subscribe to my channel so I can build up my audience, because I really want, I really would like for this to reach the world, y'all. Anybody can do it. If you have a will, all you need now is the skill. And I talk about all the time, you can have the will and not have the skill, but you can always learn the skill. The problem is when you don't have the will. Okay? You don't have the will or the skill. So it's usually a struggle when you don't have the will. But if you have the will, you can learn the skill. Just remember that. Y'all, God has really graced me to create these things. I didn't even know this gift was on the inside of me. You know, as you grow older, you just learn, you reflect, you do things, and you be like, wow, I didn't even had no clue that I had this ability on the inside of me to start creating these beautiful pieces. But hey, he knows what's coming down the pipe way better than we do, you know? And that's in every area of your life. But again, if you want to go and see how I actually roll all of my mesh and put it on the trees, just watch any of my lives. You will see, because I demonstrate on each one. Now, sometimes, y'all, I do have to cut more pieces of mesh, and that's okay. But I've already cut a lot of the colors that I'm going to be using. I've cut them up, and I put them in this bag. Like I said yesterday, some people put them in, some people put them in laundry baskets or whatever, but you can put it wherever you want, whatever, you know, that helps you. But I put it in the bags because the bag is not going to squinch them, and they're going to stay fresh and all of the things. So y'all, I start out by, and I say this on every one of my lives, I used to pull all these limbs down and then start trying to put my mesh on. I don't do that no more. I do one level at a time. So I'm doing, the first level is usually, I think it's 11 or 12 on the bottom here. And again, now just really, like I was telling you earlier about the trees, the different trees that Dollar Tree have. Dollar Tree have the green and white trees during the Christmas season, okay? They only have 3 limbs at the bottom. You see how many limbs this one have? 3 limbs. And so if you want your bottom to be full, you have to create a false bottom. Now, I don't particularly want to teach you guys how to do that, but I will. So say if you have a lot of the green or white trees from the Christmas season, I can go on and show you how to create the false bottom, and you will be able to have your bottom full just like you would if it was the limbs was there. So the first thing I do, I just start with my colors. That's all I do. I'm going to start with the colors. I think I'm going to wait on putting the light blue in it and the red because those are the least amount. I'm just going to go with the dark blue and the burlap right now, and the white. If I get sidetracked, that's okay. But I usually take this little butterfly that I created. I put I put the glue in the middle, right? And I just lay it down in the middle, and I just lay it on there like that. I bend the limb just a little bit so it can catch it, and then it'll just dry on its own. Okay? I'm gonna now take uh, one of the burlap pieces. And again, I'm using this tan burlap because the ribbon has the burlap color in it. And what I usually do, y'all, when I'm starting out, I skip a limb, go to the next limb, and just keep going around. And I change my colors as I go. So I don't put blue right next to blue or white right next to white. I just, like I started with the blue and the burlap and the white, I'm gonna go back to the blue. This is the same technique I use when I'm doing a wreath. Same technique, is really no different. Yep. And then when you get back around, because this one have a odd number, it's okay. You're just gonna have to put it right next to each other. The limb is, the white is gonna be next to the blue or whatever. So it's okay. Because you're gonna go back, I'm gonna show y'all how we go back and fill in those places. But you see how it's already kind of full? Now, y'all gonna see me cutting the fray off a little bit. Remember, I said all mesh frays, so just remember that, okay? Then I'm gonna go, and I'm starting with my next level. Okay, start with my next level. All right, now, same thing. Like right here, I have the burlap and the white. I'm gonna add the dark blue right there in the middle. And y'all, the pipe cleaners, when you have a mixture of colors, the pipe cleaners that you use, it don't matter. The colors that you use, and the reason why I say that is because, like, I'm using blue. I'm using the red pipe cleaner on the blue because this is one of the colors that's going to be in the tree. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to just have white or whatever. Only when you're having one solid color, like I've made trees with one solid color, like I'll have purple or whatever. I'm not gonna put red in on the purple. So you get it? It just don't make no sense. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm doing the same exact thing I did on the first level, y'all. I'm just skipping the limbs and just dropping these pieces in here. And also just keep in mind, you want to make sure you don't put none of this glue on your hand, because look, I've done that and it is not, it's not nothing nice. It ain't pretty. It don't feel good. I have a little burn on my hand now from that. And if you feel like you're running out of pieces, just reach back in your bag and get some more. Y'all, I will tell you that I'm not used to being at home by myself a whole lot. So when my husband is gone, it's like I hear every sound there is. And I'd be a little paranoid, but because I'm so used to him being here, it's just weird, but that's just the way it is. I've been praying. Okay, so I started on the first level, second level. This is the third level, so I'm just gonna keep going with what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm gonna add the red and the light blue later, because those are just gonna be like accent colors that I'm throwing in here. So mainly going with the dark blue, the burlap, and the white right now. And it's okay if you run out of those colors. Don't worry about it. Just start putting the other ones in there. It don't matter. You're gonna end up filling up your whole tree. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to use those as accent colors and not like the main colors. And you already can tell how full this tree is getting. You already can see it. So that's the way it is. Y'all, I went to Hobby Lobby the other day and they had all their mesh on sale. The little, I like to get the 5.5 inch mesh from Michael's again, but Hobby Lobby had a better sale. So guess where I was? I was at Hobby Lobby, but they only had one color, and I kid you not, as soon as I posted my patriotic wreath, one of my customers was like, I want a wreath and I want a tree. So the tree that I had just made sold just like that. So I get so excited when that happens, by the way. But I'm making stuff for the pop-up and I'm selling it before I even get to the pop-up. I love it. I ain't complaining at all. Okay, so let's see what colors we have left here. Just keep on adding your stuff. Look like my bag is empty, so I just got to keep on going, okay? I'm trying to let this dark blue burlap and white be the foundation. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, what colors is that for the patriotic? Well, you'll see. Because again, like I said, I started out with doing my, trying to keep these white ones for the top. I started out doing my, I have to cut some more burlap. I'm gonna go ahead on and start and do this one, by the way. And then y'all, when I don't need, because usually this long piece is for your, like a star or a topper. When I'm not gonna really use this piece, I'll pull it down like this. But today, I think I'm gonna use a white star. So I usually take this, and this helps support. We can actually do it right now. This helps hold my star in place, right? So I kind of twist it around here. I can do this right now so you can see how it's done. You just take this piece and it's gonna help you keep whatever your topper is before you even add the rest of your stuff. And just make sure it's straight. So you see how that's gonna already look? Just absolutely gorgeous. Just gorgeous. All right, so if I have to cut some more white, I'll cut it. It looks like I will have to cut a couple of more pieces, but that's okay. Put this one here. I might need a few more burlap, but it's all gonna come together, y'all, and it's gonna be pretty. And you don't have to really worry about that black part showing too much because you're gonna have your mesh going up there, okay? And I'm gonna show you, demonstrate all of that to you shortly. Again, keep your glue sticks near you at all times. I don't put ribbon on my trees all the time, but today I am. I'm gonna put some on there. And I do need another white. Let's see. And just make sure just keep your star straight, okay? But that's okay. Let's see, I have a blue and white right here. I'll just add this one and I'll put the white going up. And you can always, like I said, sometimes I get creative and I will mix the colors like I did right here. I got a white here and a blue. So what it was is, as I get to the end of my, my roll of mesh, I will take two colors and put them together. Now, this is where I'm going to start incorporating the reds. I still have a couple of burlap, but I'm going to incorporate the reds, the other blues, and the light blue, okay? So I'm going to start at the bottom, y'all, because this is, I'm going to start. I'm going to go back down to the bottom. So I'm finished with the top. Now I'm going back down to the bottom, and I'm just going to drop this red throughout this tree, just so I can have those pops of color, okay? And I'm gonna go on different levels because, again, all I'm doing is trying to do a pop of the red, not a whole lot of the red. And again, some mesh frays more than others in my opinion, but all of it frays. So just keep that in mind. Don't get discouraged if it frays. It does matter where you get it from. Like I said, I was showing you guys the different ones you can get from the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree do have mesh that frays worse than others. So you just want to have a good eye when you go into Dollar Tree. They have good quality stuff, but some of it is not, you know, especially if you're selling. If you're just doing something for yourself, that's different. But when you're selling, you want to make sure you get the right stuff for your customers. And again, I only have a few reds, so I'm just trying to pop these reds in here because I need to go to the store and get some more mesh. I need to get some more blue. uh, the day when I went to Hobby Lobby to get the blue, yes, it was on sale, but they only had 2 of them, and I've been trying to make do with what I got. Sometimes I cut these stems a little bit too long, so it's okay for you to just cut them off so that they can sit on your limbs correctly, okay? Let's see, let me just drop one right here. Again, I'm just trying to make sure I get these reds in here and they can just pop. And you can look, you do your project the way you want to do it, but this is the way I do mine. Literally, this is what I do. And you can see already how full it's getting. So right now I'm just trying to add all of the red in here. And I'm gonna come back and add my light blue. So I have red. Let's see, I'm gonna go down here on the bottom here and add some red. And all I'm doing is where I left that stem open. I'm just taking that stem that didn't have nothing on it, and I'm putting it on there. And I'm doing it on each level so that red can pop. And you can already see how the bottom is filling up. Now, if this was a green or the white tree, I would have to create a false bottom, and I would have to pretty much just add pieces of mesh in here. But y'all can already see how this thing is gonna end up being. Now, I have one more red, but let me see if I have to put it in there. Maybe right here, since I have it already cut, I'll put it in there. And then I'm gonna go start with my blue, my light blue. And then after I finish putting all my mesh, I usually start forming the tree so that everything can start coming together, okay? Now I got my red in. I do have a few more of the blue and the burlap. I'll put that to the side. I only have 5 of the light blue. I'm just gonna drop it in here just like I did the red in random places so that the light blue can pop. Because again, the light blue is adding to the color scheme that I'm going with, and I was inspired by the ribbon that I'm gonna add in here. Whatever inspires you, that's what you use. And see how I dropped that light blue in there? I'm gonna try to just do that throughout the tree and not have them real close to each other. Put one up here at the top. So that part can have the light blue as well. I just want to have that light blue and the red to kind of just, and once you learn this technique, you don't have to use as much mesh. Okay, just keep that in mind. You don't have to use that much mesh if you, your primary colors, and then you just pop the other colors in there a little bit and you'll be fine. Okay, all right, so let's see here. All right, I have one here, one there. Okay, here's a space here that I can put a blue. Let me see, a light blue. And y'all, it's gonna all come together. You will see it's gonna be gorgeous and pretty and all the things. Now, I do not have a whole lot of embellishments. That's the only part I don't like about this. So right now, honestly, I'm just doing mainly the base for you guys. So you can see how it's done. And then you can go back and add whatever embellishments you want. Um, I don't have all of the embellishments that I want. I still have to go through my stash and see because I think I'm going to add some ornaments to this one. But I don't have my red ornaments. I got to get them from my stash. I have the little tiny red ornaments and I have the blue. My sister told me don't call them balls, call them ornaments. So I haven't forgotten that. So I have one more light blue and I'm going to put it, let's see. I'm going to put it right in the, let's see. I'm going to put it right here. So it's just a pop of the color of the light blue. Just enough colors to pull out all of the colors. And if you needed to fill it up anymore, like I said, I still have some burlap in the dark blue. But so far, so good. We already have all of our colors. Now, this is what I'm going to do. So you know that normally a tree, it starts small at the top and it goes out at the bottom, right? All right, so I'm going to squeeze these in a little just so that they can, sometimes you have to just literally take the limbs and bend them because you want to shape your tree perfectly and all of the things. And this is also where you will see other limbs that are visible that you can add a little bit more if you need to. I think I'm going to really like this one, y'all. I said it about all of them, I know, but maybe I'll be being biased a little bit. But you can see how I got it a little smaller here. Now I'm just gonna, all I want to do now is just kind of push these places in so it can flow all the way down to the bottom. And just keep turning it around on your Lazy Susan so you can kind of see how it flows, right? It's a little different on the YouTube because I don't have my laptop on so I can see if there's any comments being made or so I'm just doing all of the talking. Even though y'all can't talk, but you can comment. So I will get there, y'all. I will get there. Okay, so here we go. Now we just still forming it. And then what I do on my Lazy Susan, I'll take time and I'll turn it around. And what I'm looking for, I'm making sure that my bottom is full. That's because your bottom to me makes the tree. It makes the tree. It's wide, it's flowing correctly. And then you don't want some weird pop outs to be showing on your mesh. So you want to make sure your mesh is laying just right on the bottom, all the way. And you want it to be kind of like smooth when you take that around like that. See how the bottom is full? Yes, that's what I love. Now, again, if you have extra pieces and you want to add some more, you can. But y'all, I don't really need to add anything in here. Now, like I told you guys before, this black tree, you're not going to be able to see it once I finish adding my embellishments. Okay. So I think I've turned it around enough and all of that, y'all. I can be doing that all day long, okay? But so what I did, you guys, I took the ribbon and I cut them 13 inches and I cut them 13 inches so that I can have the overlap. I took my glue. I'll just demonstrate because, I might not be able to explain it as much as demonstrating. I will show you exactly what I did. I try to keep my little area clean. I try to keep my room clean, but y'all, it's hard. It is. Anywho, I'm going to measure 13 inches here with my ribbon. Cut 13 inches, right? I'm going to take this ribbon, y'all, and put a little glue on the tail here take this piece and bring it over and just let those two pieces meet and let that glue. Then I'm gonna lay it down and I try to keep the part that I glued in the middle, push it down. I'm gonna squinch it up in the middle here. I'm taking a little piece of the pipe cleaner. I'm not gonna use the whole piece of pipe cleaner for this. And then I just twist it on here. I do leave a little sticking out because I want that piece to actually go down in there and where I'm gonna drop it off. And then I just pick this up like this. And you have your little bow. So I take this, I'm gonna take this little piece and I find a one of the pieces of mesh that I've created, and I kind of just see, okay, is it gonna fit in here good? And y'all, it's gonna fit in there just like that, okay? So what you do is you take, see how I got a little piece sticking out? You're gonna take your glue gun and you're gonna glue, you're gonna take it and you're gonna try to keep your ribbon straight. It's a little challenging, but you're gonna get it. And then you hold it a little bit there so that it can dry. And it's gonna dry to your mesh. I didn't put a lot amount of glue on there because sometimes that glue will take a little bit longer depending on how much you put on there, but just hold it in place. Yeah, just hold it in place and let it do its thing. Some things I'll just let go and let it dry, but for the most part, I like to try to keep these in here until it actually sets in here. At first, I was going to do a zip ties on this, and I said, no, you can just, all you have to do is just glue it and hold it and make sure it stays there, and that's what I'm doing. And again, your embellishment sometimes will take a little bit longer than you actually putting your mesh on here because it's the attention to detail and you want to make sure it's right. And see, for some reason, this one is not sticking. Okay, let's try this again. Maybe I do need to put a generous amount of glue. You all saw how long I held that. It's okay. I think I just needed to put a little extra glue on there so it'll be okay. And then you want to try to keep the integrity of the bow and see how that bow is going to look. It's going to be pretty. And then I'm going to take the little balls. I have all these little balls, red, white, and blue balls. And then I'm going to put them in there. But I'm going to add all of my pieces of ribbon first, okay? So I'm going to find, again, I'm just dropping these in random spots. So I'm going to find me another spot away from that spot. And I'm going to put, obviously I need to put a generous amount. So I'm putting a generous amount. And you want to find one of your pieces of mesh that's kind of like flat. And just so that it'll sit in there just right. Because you don't want to push your, bow up a lot. You want it to kind of stay flat. I have some ribbon that's red. It's got a lot of glitter on it. And I'm like, oh my God. I really want to put that one in one of my trees. But I'm thinking, oh my God, it'll be so much glitter on my table when I'm done. But I'm just putting that in there, letting it sit. Letting that sit. See how I dropped that one in there? So cute. Do the same thing. I look like I got about 6 of them. So I'm going to drop one down here in the bottom. And I mean, you can drop as many of these as you want. Totally up to you. Again, this is your project. You use the colors you want, all of the things. And if you go back on my lives, I've done the Easter ones, y'all. I've done, I think I got like 6 Easter ones. but I'm building up the patriotic ones because it's a 2-day event, March 20th through the 21st, and then I have another one on the 28th, which is the weekend after that. So um, your girl is gonna be busy. See how I dropped that down at the bottom? So I need to put another one at the bottom. So I got that one on that side. I'm gonna put another one on this side at the bottom. Obviously, the generous amount of glue is what's gonna work for you guys. So make sure you put enough glue down there. I didn't tell you right at first. And then if you're, so see how this one is kind of sticking out, because, you know, I'm this perfectionist, you know, when you a crafter, you, especially if you selling it, again, if it's just yours, you don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. But if you selling it, you want to make sure it's done correctly. Okay. So like this one, I don't really care how it's sticking out. So all I have to do, y'all, is take it and push it in a little bit. Again, keeping the integrity of that bow. Just push it in a little bit because you want it to be flow good, easy. So I have one on this side, one on that side, one right here, one right there. So the other places I can put is, here's a spot right here. I only have one more cut though. But that's okay. We're going to make it do what it do. And I just want to position it so that it will lay in there good. Well, you know what? I can put this one at the top. I'm going to put this one at the top. Generous amount of glue. Yeah, we wanted this kind of stay right there. So I have one here, one here, one here, one there. I think I'm gonna do one more and put it on this side of the top. Yeah, just do one more. You're only cutting it at 13 inches. Putting your little glue on that tail, bringing it around and letting it connect. Put this one in the middle. Put it on your ruler and squinch it in like that. Take this little piece of pipe cleaner. Well, that ain't gonna be long enough. You need to have a better piece because you want some of it to be sticking out. Y'all, some of these little short pipe cleaners, I'll take them and twist them together and they work just fine. You don't want to waste nothing, okay? And then I'm going to put one right up here at the top. And then we're going to be done with the ribbon. So I have my topper. I have my ribbons in here. And again, I want to add some more stars and ornaments and stuff, but I got to go through my stash. And pretty much, y'all, this one it's pretty much done, except I'm going to go back around. And again, this is just the base, so you can see. And y'all, the other thing I pay attention to when I'm looking at my trees, I want to make sure that everything is pushed in good and it flows. I don't like for stuff to be sticking out, and I don't like for my tree to be warped. So I will take it around, yeah, and make sure it's not warped. Now, I will be honest, this part here, because it's black, I don't like the way it's showing on this white. And so I think we're gonna take this out. Again, you can take, girl, this is your project. Just keep that in mind. You can change what you want. You don't have to leave nothing the way that I have it. But I'm taking this from around here, even though it's holding it real good for me. But I don't want this black to be showing. So what I'm gonna do is cut this shorter. And it's okay, you can throw this piece of limb away. And you want to you want to put you some glue on here. Make sure that glue go all around here and inside of it and everything, because it's not gonna hurt nothing. Just put you a generous amount of glue up in here, and then you're gonna set it on top of there. And hold it there. Give it a little bit more push. Yeah, I be using all of my stuff. And then you just bring your mesh back around here to cover that. And it looks better to me, okay? Now you got your ribbon on both sides. You got you some ribbon here. This one just came off. That's why I said I wanted to use the zip tie for my ribbon, because I ain't got time for that ribbon to be doing that. But y'all, it's beautiful. I love it so far. And only other thing that I would do with this, y'all, I do have ornaments that I could add in here, but I gotta go back and find my ornaments. I can always put ornaments in here. I have the little red and white presents that I can put in there. Usually I keep these for Christmas time though. And then I even have the little tiny presents. Usually keep that for Christmas. But I will say that this is my red, white, and blue big balls. I love the big ones. So I'm going to take one of these like this, different colors of them, and I'm going to drop it inside of that ribbon. I don't know if you can see it, but it's inside of there. And then you take your white one. You want to drop it inside. And you can put two in there if you want. Sometimes I'll put a big one and then I'll put a small one in there. That's what I did yesterday with my other one. And you just keep doing that. Again, this is your tree. You put whatever embellishments, whatever colors, all of the things that you want. But just go around to each one of your bows and add your little. And this also helps hide the pipe cleaner, okay? It hides the pipe cleaner that you actually put around the ribbon. And you can add more ribbon if you want. You don't have to stop here. You can add as many pieces of ribbon as you like. I'm just adding it because I don't like for any of my embellishments to be overbearing or too much. Now, what I am gonna do is when I go out today, y'all, I had some blue stars, red stars, and white stars. I'm gonna find those stars, and I'm gonna put them throughout this tree. And I usually post it either on Facebook, or I gotta learn how to post it actually on my YouTube channel when I'm done. But y'all, this is pretty much it. This is the base. And again, I'm gonna add more embellishments, and you'll see that later on. But thank you all for coming on. I think we probably a little less than an hour. But thank you for coming on. Like and share my live and subscribe to my channel. Again, my name is Janice. I'm the owner of Gracious Designs by Janice, where God has graced me to create. Thank you so much, sister, for supporting me like you always do. I appreciate it. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.